How's it going? Okay, so it's 11 a.m. Going live a little bit early today, but we're going to look at the charts, see what's going on, and we're going to go from there. So we're going to look at the crypto fear and greed index, and then we're going to look at a trade that I'm in right now. But before we do that, we're going to look at Bitcoin. So let's get started. And yeah, with that being said, I do actually need to get TikTok going, so bear with me while I do that really quickly. Hopefully, everyone's having a good Saturday. Bitcoin right now, I do see it in a bear flag, so we do need to be cognizant of that. I'm not opening up short on Bitcoin, but I am in a short on another meme coin that is just a disaster right now. It's probably going to zero, unfortunately. But I think a lot of meme coins do that. So right now, we're gonna give you guys an update of what the market's doing. This is Saturdays are always our longer stream. Mondays are the shorter ones. So let's look and see what's going on in the markets. So I have said this for a while now. If Bitcoin, there's two times I'll buy back Bitcoin. The one situation where I'll buy back Bitcoin, like I'm owning Bitcoin, I already own Bitcoin right now long term, but the price I'd buy more Bitcoin at, or the area I buy more Bitcoin at, is if the fear greed index goes below 10. So if we go in the single digits, I'll buy whatever I have in cash in Bitcoin. Or if Bitcoin, let me share my screen. Not yet, so I better do that. Bitcoin, if we get back above on this key moving average, the 333-minute time frame, the 5.5-hour time frame, the same thing, this 200-day smooth moving average, which right now is coming in right below 94K. So if you get above 94K, make a higher low on the RSI and get above that, I'll buy. Or if the crypto fear and greed index gets below 9. So that is kind of what's going on. Let me open the fear and greed index. Right now we're sitting at 28. The lowest we got was 10, so we didn't go below 9. So that's why I didn't put all my money into Bitcoin. Also, I'm about to get my tax returns back. So when that happens, I'll be buying more Bitcoin with that. I appreciate everyone that is here. If you guys would help support the channel, hit the likes. It does help support the channel. I appreciate it. So let's kind of break down Bitcoin and see what's going on right now. So on the 4-hour time frame, you can see that Bitcoin right now has this trend line on the bottom. You put in the low at 78,300, then you made another higher low at 81.3. I wouldn't say it's a higher low because the RSI didn't get oversold on the 4-hour time frame. But the trend is up, right? On the smaller time frames, my guess is that those would be considered higher lows. Like in the 1 hour, that's considered a higher low. Maybe not on the 4 hour, but on the 1 hour, it is. You did get oversold right here. And then you did it again right here. But the problem is, if we go back to the 4-hour time frame, are we about to lose it? The 1-hour time frame isn't a bear flag, and the bear flag would take you below this upsloping trend line that we have had ever since our low at 78K back on Friday, February 28th, which was what, 2 weeks ago today? No, about a week ago, I think. Just so maybe that was 2 weeks ago. Friday, February 28th. Let me see how long ago that was. Yeah, that was 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, 2 weeks ago. So right now, Bitcoin in the last 2 weeks has been in a slight uptrend, ever so slightly. But Bitcoin right now on the 1-hour time frame, the 1-hour time frame is overbought. It suggests that we could get the dump to the downside. And also, I've talked about this before. All the moving average, all the time frames are below the 200-day moving average. So like the 15-minute time frame is below the 200-day moving average. The 33-minute is below the 200-day moving average. The 1 hour is below it. And like the 4 hours below it. The next time frame that is not below it would be all the way up. Even the 12-hour is below it. Like the price is below the 200-day moving average. The only time frame where it's not would be the daily 200-day moving average. I told my trading group this. If you lose on other time frames, the next step you go is 83K or the daily 200-day moving average. If you lose a daily, you can look for the 2-day. So it's likely to me at this point that we do get a minimum a retest of the daily 200-day moving average. So the 1 hour, so the daily looks bearish to me. That's about to be a lower high. It's not overbought yet, but it's trying to put in a lower high. The 12-hour time frame has done that. So to me, this is not good look for Bitcoin. The 1 hour is in a bear flag. You're below 200-day moving averages on every time frame up to the daily. And it's looking like you might roll over below to that daily 200. So to me, I'm more bearish than bullish right now on the current time frame. Because if you think about it, every time frame from just the 12-hour and under is like bearish. You're below the 200-day moving average on the 12-hour and under. So to me, it's likely you get the rollover on price action on Bitcoin. And that's just kind of the most likely scenario. So I would say the next time I'll be back live will be Monday, 11 p.m. Central Time. I would say most likely by then we are lower. And again, the measure move of this bear flag on the 1 hour is $82,600. So we'll see what happens. But to me, it's most likely that if you cannot break $86,700, that you get the move to the downside. So the bulls must break $86,700. If we can't do that, if they can't do that, I should say, then we are most likely going down to $82,600. We do have support at $83,700. If we don't bounce there, I would be looking for basically 82.1, 82K is a little bit more support. So really the measure move is 82.6, but if you lose 83.7, the next step from what I see is 82.1. The other thing that we need to look at on Bitcoin would be going over to Bookmap. And Bookmap has more liquidity that I can see at $87,400. So we'll see what happens. But there is a little bit more liquidity at $87,400. So you look in this left column here, it's more likely that you go up to 87.4 based on Bookmap. So Bookmap suggests that you do get out of this bear flag and you break 86.7 and you go up to 87,400. But again, that is not guaranteed. And it's the weekend, there's lower liquidity, lower volume. So I'd be cautious. But if I traded patterns alone, which I don't, but if I did, I would be short. I trade moving averages though, and I do trade that alone sometimes. And the moving averages would suggest that you go lower. So based on the moving averages, I would be short on Bitcoin right now. This is not financial advice. It's just what I see going on in the markets. So that's kind of what I see going on for Bitcoin right now. And if you guys have requests for altcoins, let me know and I'll look at them. But overall for Bitcoin, I am more bearish than bullish at the current state and time. So the short I was talking about was on Moondang. The market cap right now, it's really not worth anything. But right now the market cap is $39 million. I got into this trade at $43 million market cap, and right now it's $39 million. I've been in this trade pretty much ever since 2 days ago on the 6th of March. So that is kind of what we got going on. I'm in a short on this because the 15-minute time frame is below the 200-day smooth moving average. Now, I do see maybe some slight bullish divergence here because the price made a lower low, but the RSI made a higher high, or a higher low, I should say. So anytime that happens, when the price makes a lower low and the RSI makes a higher low, I mean, that's bullish divergence. So my guess is that you get some kind of move up here. Let me see if you did on the larger time frames, though. Like, I mean, I would say kind of, but not completely. But I definitely see bullish divergence on the 50-minute time frame. But again, there's not a lot of buyers for this. It's not really worth anything. It's a meme coin that really, in my opinion, is kind of dead. But again, I am in the short. I do see some slight bullish divergence though on the 15-minute time frame. Nothing crazy. And overall, I'm just going to stay in my short based on that because it's not on the higher time frames yet. But again, that's what we got going on. And my stop loss is at break even. So that is the only trade I'm in right now. It's in, some profits right now. So that is the trade I'm in. And I'm just going to ride this until you get back above this moving average on the 15-minute time frame. So that's the only trade I'm in right now at the current moment in time. So if you guys have requests, so let's go. One more coin that I did want to look at would be XCN. By the way, we're live on YouTube as well if you guys want to see the entire screen. XCN right now. So on the 4-hour time frame, what is XCN doing? Well, if Bitcoin dumps, this is likely to dump. So they're back here. There's a head and shoulders pattern. And then at some point, must have had a measure move of the head and shoulders down to approximately 1.338 cents. We're pretty close to that level right now. The low is 1.366. So we have not hit the measure move yet of this head and shoulders pattern on the 1-hour time frame from pretty much back around the 4th of March, which was 4 days ago. So I guess in the last live stream, I probably talked about this, but yeah, we're on our way to the measure move at 1.338 cents, but we have not hit it quite yet on XCN. I appreciate if you guys hit the likes. It does help support the channel. But we have not hit the measure move yet. The 1-hour time frame still, to me, is trying to get the bounce here, but overall on the RSI, it does need to roll over a little bit more. The 4-hour time frame is like extremely bearish because you can see that the RSI is getting a move to the upside while you're, if anything, making another bear flag on the 4-hour time frame. So to me, XCN right now is bearish, and like, yeah, this is at least for right now looking like it's going to become another bear flag, and this doesn't look very promising to me for XCN. This suggests that the measure move of the head and shoulders is about to be hit. It's, maybe tomorrow or tonight. But of this current bear flag on the 4-hour time frame, the next measure move would be 1.2 cents exactly for XCN. So let me move this down. That's the measure move. This one is a little old, so I'll leave it there. But that is kind of what I see. I see a new bear flag forming. So if XCN, I would say, does not get above this wick right here at 1.5 cents, it is extremely likely that XCN is about to go down to 1.2 cents. I see very strong support at XCN, right below a penny at 9.3, but that'd be losing a zero. So we'll see what happens. But to me, XCN looks like you could get a little bit more of a dump to the downside. Thank you, hubby, for the likes. So that's just what I see going on XCN. Now, the bullish scenario on XCN is that you get a bounce here based on the RSI. You have oversold RSI on the 6-hour time frame. You have oversold RSI on the 8-hour time frame. Now, whenever it curves straight up like that, that's not very good. That looks bearish to me, and the 12 hours overbought. I think if I had to call it right now, just like Bitcoin, though, I would say the most likely scenario, I mean, the 2-day and 3-day are oversold, but I would say the most likely scenario on XCN right now is that you do go to the downside down to 1.2 cents, unless you can crack 1.5. But again, based on everything I see, yes, the 6-hour looks okay, but the 8 hours getting overbought decently fast. Like, that's not a slow curve up here. That's a pretty aggressive move to the upside on the RSI. Most likely, you get the move to the downside on XCN. I'm sorry, but that's what I see on XCN. It's most likely move down to 1.2 cents. So that's what I'm calling. I could be wrong, but there's a 68% chance that that does happen. There's a 68% chance that you hit 1.2 cents before you hit 1.5 cents, or before you go back to resistance, I should say. So let's see what happens. But to me, the trend is down at XCN. It's most likely that you get a continuation to the downside. You can see also that I had this falling wedge drawn here on XCN, but so far the falling wedge just keeps on falling, and I don't see a bounce here on XCN. So to me, it's just likely that XCN goes a little bit lower, and I don't usually pull the fibs or anything, but overall, I guess it can't hurt to pull the fibs on this situation right here on XCN to see where maybe we could get a bounce based on fibs alone. But at this point, the trend is down. I wouldn't want to be catching a falling knife at this point, and to me, that's kind of what it looks like you're doing on XCN. So let me just look really quick. The most recent macro low that I see was 1/10 of a penny, and then it went on a massive tear. But where's the golden pocket? That's what I'd be looking for. So to me, the 786, we haven't even hit the 786 yet from that 1/10 of a penny all the way up to that high at basically 5 cents. I mean, that's insane. That's over a 50x, I think. So yeah, we have not hit the 786 though. When you do a 50x, you're gonna need a massive pullback. So the 786 right now is sitting at 1.1 cents. And that's really the next level. So the fact that we're not even at the 786 yet tells me that we're likely to continue further to the downside. So that's just what I see going on. I would say that, I guess you blow the 618 and you didn't get a bounce there. So yeah, the next fib level, if you lose the 618, would be the 786 down at 1.1 cents on the macro time frame. So that's what I see. XCN likely to go probably back to a penny, really. So we'll see what happens, but XCN is still bearish to me, even on the daily. So I'll leave it at that, but I do see XCN minimum short-term going to 1.2 cents, and we'll go from there. Thank you, hubby, for the follow. What is LCX? So that's just what I see going on for XCN. Well, I looked at this as well. The falling wedge didn't play out yet. So That's not a good sign. Let me look at the 2-day time frame. 2 and 3-day time frame still have more downside. The entire trend in crypto is down right now. 12-hour time frame is oversold. Maybe get a bounce there, but I wouldn't bet on that. The 8-hour time frame. See how you had that massive move down on the 8-hour time frame, and now for the last 8, 16, 24, one day you've gone sideways without a bounce. I mean, it almost looks like this is the beginning of a bear flag on the 8-hour. The 6-hour, I don't know. 6-hour is about to close in 43 minutes, a new candle, and you've gone sideways on the 6-hour for 18 hours. The 4-hour time frame, it's nowhere near overbought. None of these time frames are near overbought. But this is how bear flags start. So, to me, I'm not loving what I'm seeing. Like the 1-hour time frame really doesn't look good. I think some of these time frames are so oversold, you will get the bounce here. But by the books, if you just trade patterns, that is trying to become a bear flag, at least on the 1-hour. So I would just be cautious here. And it doesn't look good to me for LCX. Also, you have to understand that you're nowhere near support right now for LCX. You have a bounce point here at 1.6 cents, but overall, LCX, whatever this is nowhere near support. So I don't like what I see on LCX. It doesn't look horrible, but it doesn't show me that there's a clear decision in the market. And it looks to me bearish. And if I had to guess, the 33-minute time frame is overbought. Yeah, it is. And that's not good. I would you could open up a short here with a stop loss above 1.8 cents, or I'm sorry, above 18 cents. So that's 17 divided by 1.8, To me, you can open up a short here, not financial advice. What's the current price? 17.19. So this is just a trade idea. You don't have to take it. I would have my stop loss slightly above 18 cents. And my take profit would be all the way down here at... So I don't usually give you trade setups like this, but I do see a measured move of that. So the R&R on this is not fine. It's not great, actually. I would like the R&R to be 3-to-1 or better. Right now it's 2.27, but that is a short play. You could have your stop loss. Now, to make the trade maybe safer, you could have your stop loss like maybe right there, but still not a 3-to-1. So to me, I wouldn't take that trade, but that is a possible trade I see on LCX for a measured move to the downside. So that is what I see. And to me, the most likely scenario, unless you break 18 cents, is a move to the downside on LCX. So I actually, again, I wouldn't take that trade because the R&R is not perfect, but that is a trade setup nonetheless. Yeah, it looks bad. So the next request that we have is Ethereum. So Ethereum on the weekly is probably cooked. I don't know why people still hold Ethereum. It's cheaper to trade on Solana, and Ethereum is not outperforming Bitcoin. It's not even close. It's looking awful. Beginning of this bull market, you had this massive rounded bottom, and I thought it was going to break out. This little flag right here would have been a cup and handle, but you did a double top there at 39.92, and you got the move to the downside. And so far, Ethereum is it's cooked. It's over. This looks atrocious. Again, when you go back to key moving averages, you lost a 2-day moving average on 3-day time frame. Whenever that happens, you could go to the 4-day. Otherwise, I'd be looking for the weekly. The 4-day 200 is that you're below it on the 4-day. You're below it on the 5-day. Actually, on the 5-day, it's at 22.52, which you're slightly below. On the 6-day, my guess is you're not below it because the 5 days barely. No, on the 6-day time frame, you are below it. On the weekly, are you below it? Literally all time frames that I can see that are of significance are below the key moving average. Even the 4-hour time frame is below it. So this was not looking good. That head I drew right there, this is a head and shoulders. The head I drew is a little awkward, but you understand what I'm trying to show you is a left shoulder, head, right shoulder. We saw the same thing on another coin. I can't remember what it was. It was at the beginning of the stream. Was it? I think it wasn't Bitcoin, was it? Maybe it was Bitcoin. So that's your measured move on Ethereum to the downside is 17.15. And I would pretty much have my stop loss if you opened up this trade right there at 22.63. So, guys, again, if you guys want to join the trading group, link to join is on my YouTube page. I know most people will probably watch me on TikTok, but I do have a trading group as well. I should promote it on TikTok as well. But I do see a head and shoulders pattern on Ethereum with a measure move of 1721. So it looks bad. Again, though, I would say if you break this level right here at 22.54, then Ethereum is bullish again. But for right now, Ethereum looks bad to me. So we'll see what happens. But that is kind of what I see going on for Ethereum. It's a move to the downside, most likely. But you are trying to get the bounce. The 4-hour time frame has gas, so maybe that doesn't happen. The 6-hour is aggressive on the R side, suggesting that you do get the move back to the upside. So, that's the bearish scenario. The bullish scenario is that you have a falling wedge here. Again, just like the last one I looked at, I don't think that this is I don't think it's guaranteed to dump. I don't think it's convincing, especially because you have the 6-hour time frame oversold. My guess is that the head and shoulders is less likely to play out. So we'll see what happens. But overall, that looks like this is more likely that you get the move to the upside here on Ethereum to 24.65. The 6-hour time frame is stronger than the smaller time frame that we just looked at, and it's very oversold. So we'll see what happens. The bulls could take along to 24.65, but then the bearish play is it's a head and shoulders pattern. Ethereum has been in a massive downtrend on the higher time frames. Hence why we are below the 200-day moving average. But I will say that is at least on the 6-hour time frame. I think the trend is going to stay down, but at least on the 6 hours, suggests you can get a small bounce back to basically 24.65. So you can take whatever one you want because the market's indecisive and it's the weekend. I wouldn't be taking any of these trades, but these are trades that if you really want to trade today, Ethereum, those are 2 trades you could take. You'd have to choose one because if you take one and then the other one plays out, then it's like you didn't make any money, but you'd have to choose which one you want to take. If you're not sure, I wouldn't be trading. So that's Ethereum in a nutshell right now. So, all right, let's go look at XYO. All right. Wow. That's not good. That's really bad. Okay. XYO right now. The next support that I see is basically 1074. You're at 1110 right now. That's a bearish engulfing candle. And it's just most likely that at this point, you're about to lose these levels. So I'd be watching for this. Based on, you have the weekly oversold. That's a good sign. You got the 3-day time frame oversold. That's a good sign. You have the 2-day oversold. That's a good sign. What worries me right now is that XYO just lost a 200-day moving average at 1218. Whenever you lose a daily 200, I look for the 2-day to be next. So you can take a short down to 992 with your stop loss above this level right here. You're like a day late to the short, but that's a trade idea. So really, to me, it's most likely at this point that you go down to 997 unless you can break and get back above 1219. To me, the R&R is probably 1-to-1 each way, so I wouldn't take that short either. But I'm saying that if you would have opened up the short like when you lost this, that'd be a good short. Now it's a little late to the short. Although the trend's down, so it's most likely it'd be most likely that you would win that short. So the 12 hours below the 200 by a mile. It's all the way up at 1.9 cents. The 8-hour time frame is bearish. It's oversold, but probably again, just like LCX, making like some kind of weird bear flag. Not even weird, just a bear flag in general. So to me, it's most likely at this point that you are bearish on XYO. And again, the 4-hour time frame suggests that you could open up that short on the daily and probably win the trade based on what I see. But we'll see what happens. XYO to me, again, like bearish. Looks bad. So XYO, measure move is 1038 basically, or slightly below that, maybe 1020. And that's what I see going on for XYO is a move to the downside, and that suggests that you can win that trade. So XYO looks bearish for a move to the downside. I've given you guys a lot of trades today that you probably usually just go over the charts, don't give you actual trade setups, but that's what I see going on for XYO. Now, if you were to open up a short based on the 4-hour time frame, I would have my stop loss above this wick right here. So my stop loss would be right here. My take profit would be pretty much right there, 8% lower, and it says 5. That's a good R&R. That's a really good R&R. 5.87. That means you could take this trade almost 6 times, and if you won only once, you'd be break even on the trade. Assuming you always use the same amount whenever you enter a trade. Say if you always use $100 when you enter the trade. If you won that trade one time, but you lost 6 other times, you'd still basically be break even. Anyways, that's actually a good trade setup that maybe I should think about taking on XYO. That's just something to watch, though. XYO in a nutshell. So we'll see what happens. But XYO, I'll add that to my watch list for a short. That looks like a good one, actually. A lot better than the other ones I've looked at so far today. So we'll see what happens, but that's just what I see going on. How's it going, Welder Guy? So thank you for the follow, Jack. You're welcome. How about Cardano? God, got a piece of hair in my... Okay, so let's go look at Cardano. Cardano on the weekly. That didn't happen. I said that, yeah. Okay. So I don't know, man. Maybe we should just restart with Cardano, or at least get a fresh chart, I should say. Oh, I was already on that. So let me look at the Binance chart then. Well, this chart's cleaner, so I'll use this chart. So on the weekly time frame for Cardano, we're oversold. The 3-day time frame is overbought almost. 2-day and daily, same situation. When Trump announced that the strategic reserve for Cardano, you got a move to $1.20 almost, and now you're collapsing. And to me, that was sell the news event, because the second that happened, I bet, what is this yellow bubble right here? Is that the news? Maybe. Oh, no. Okay, so immediately when that happened, you got the dump. The next support I see, because you're below $1, is 77 cents on Cardano. So Cardano right now, I just say this: you're above the 200-day moving average, so that's your support. If you lose 69 cents, GG's, it's over. The 12-hour, have we lost on the 12-hour? And yeah, that's what I worry. You've lost a 200 now on the 12-hour time frame. I would really look for 68, 69 cents to be next, especially if you can't hold 77 cents as support. So the entire market looks horrific. Even like some of the top altcoins like Cardano look horrific, and like it should be short city right now, and it looks bad. Cardano looks really bad. It looks like you're going to go back down to 70 cents on Cardano. Can I do Aerodome? Let's go look at Aerodome. You traded XYL for Aerodome. I can't say that's a horrible decision, but you know what I'd be doing? Buying Bitcoin. Or not. I wouldn't be. I'm done with altcoins until it looks better. I just wouldn't be trading them. I do hold I hold one altcoin. I don't even remember what it is. I hold a lot of altcoins because I go on Coinbase and then you get the free coins, but that's like $5-10. So I don't think that counts. I can't remember the one altcoin that I actually do hold. Yeah, I don't know. Anyways, so this is insane. You've been oversold in the weekly time frame now for January, February. I guess it's only been 3 months. That's crazy. Or 3 weeks, I guess. That's not that crazy. That's still okay. The weekly time frame is just not getting the bounce, though. The 3-day time frame and 2-day oversold. You got the daily oversold. And yeah, I mean, all these altcoins look cooked. They're below the 200-day moving average. This one is as well on the daily. Is the 2-day below it? Where's the 200-day? Oh, it doesn't have enough data on the 2-day yet. But the daily's below it. So yeah, the next support I see is 31 cents. I don't know if I'd be holding this, man. I'm not telling you what to do, but if I were in your situation, I would be selling. Not financial advice. I'm just saying, your next support is down there 50% lower at 31 cents, like on the higher time frames. Now, I will say, if you don't lose 53 cents, you're not going to go down to 31. But if you lose 53 cents, I see 31 cents as being the next stop for Aerodome. I do think that's going to be a bounce point. But again, look at the RSI. It doesn't look good. It looks like you are going to collapse to the downside. Also, this is something else I see in the making on Aerodome is like some kind of descending triangle. That's when you make lower highs, but the same lows. You've made the same low, like I said, I would say one time. But you could even say that this is the low right here, and then you could say you've hit that low 3 times, and then this is a descending triangle that wants to dump further to the downside. So to me, Aerodome actually doesn't look any better than XYO. In fact, I'd be worried that if you lose, now you could maybe set a stop at 53 cents and say, hey, if I don't lose 53 cents, then I'm going to stay in the trade. But overall, I would say Aerodome does want lower targets. Let me just make sure I did that measure move correctly. Oh, I would just say that Aerodome does want lower targets to the downside. So if you want to be conservative, the measure move is 31 cents. If you want to be more aggressive, really, I see the measure move being down at 23. That's insane. This suggests that Aerodome is going to dump like 70% from where we are right now down to. That's just not good. So I see Aerodome getting a massive capitulation, and it looks much worse than XYO. So I'm sorry. I am not trying to be bearish, but that's what I see going on. I would say the first level to break to be bullish again would be 68 cents on Aerodome. If you can crack that, the most recent wick, that'd be a good start. But Aerodome to me looks like it looks like it's in a bear market. I'll just say that. So the Aerodome, I'm sorry, looks just as bad as what XYO, if not worse. It's very oversold, but I don't know what the market cap is, and I wouldn't. It's just bad. It's just bad. You're welcome. Sell and wait for the bottom. Hey. So yeah, I would say if you lose 53 cents, I would be out of the trade. That's just me, though. Thank you for the follow, Mike. And that's kind of what I see going on for Aerodome. So with that being said, guys, let me go over here and check on YouTube. Yeah, I don't see any other. Thank you guys for the likes on YouTube. I don't see any other requests. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to get on out of here. I'll be back live Monday, 11 p.m. Central Time. So that's about, 60 hours away from now. With that being said, guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I'm going to get out of here and enjoy this warm weather. It's supposed to be 70 degrees here in Wisconsin. So that should be fun. Severe thunderstorms as well, even though it's like supposed to be wintertime. Anyways, so that's what I got, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Again, I guess a recap on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does not break $86,700, I see a move coming down to 82.6 on Bitcoin. So that's what I got. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, trade safe and have a great weekend. Again, I wouldn't go heavy on the weekends. There's less volume and everything else. So just take it easy. Cheers and adios. It was 2 billion and now it's at 500 million now. Thank you for the share. So yeah, that's yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great weekend and adios. Also, thanks for the likes on YouTube. I do appreciate that. I do. Thank you. All right.